You didn't buy a half-ton truck to spend the next 10 years defending a four-cylinder. If you've got Chevy's 2.7 turbo, you know exactly what I mean. Every time you pop the hood or post a photo, somebody drops the same line. Bro, that's a four-banger and a full size. Good luck with that. And it'd be funny if there weren't real question marks behind it. Early cold start noise, weird tuning, anxiety about longevity, and a constant, "Did I make a mistake?" playing in the back of your head. Here's the thing, Chevy already told you there was a problem. They didn't do it with a press conference. They did it with an upgrade. They quietly re-engineered the 2.7. Stronger bottom end, revised tuning, more torque, new branding, all to fix the weak spots and perception problems from the first version. That's as close to an admission as you'll ever get out of a big company. We changed it because the old setup wasn't good enough. So in this video, I'm going to show you three things. What Chevy got wrong with the original 2.7 turbo, what they changed in the updated version, and why that matters, and the one upgrade every 2.7 owner needs if you actually want this engine to last. Not a tune, not a cold air, but treating it like the boosted work motor it is instead of a rental car. Because the war here isn't V8 versus four-cylinder, it's stock brochure thinking versus I don't want a surprise bill at $120,000. What Chevy actually messed up with the 2.7. Let's be fair before we torch it. On paper, the 2.7 turbo is not a joke. Big block truck torque numbers in the low RPM band, modern aluminum architecture, direct injection, variable valve control, decent advertised miles per gallon for the power. The problem was never, can it make power? The problem was how Chevy positioned and tuned it. They tried to sell it as a cheap base engine in a full-size truck. That behaves like a V8, but gets small engine fuel economy, while living in turbo boost most of its life, with owners who treat it like a naturally aspirated 5.3. That's a bad combination. In the real world, 2.7 owners started seeing cold start clatter and noise that sounded way worse than a spec sheet implied. Tuning that felt a little jerky or laggy in certain conditions. Anxiety about long-term stress on a small, boosted engine doing big truck work. Stigma. Four-cylinder Silverado became a meme faster than Chevy could rebrand it. The engine wasn't a grenade, but it wasn't protected the way it should have been. Chevy was asking a lot from it and acting like it was just a base engine checkbox. That's the miss. Not just engineering, but expectations. How Chevy basically admitted the problem. Look at what Chevy did next. They didn't just rename it, they strengthened the internals, reworked the calibration for torque and drivability, gave it more output and a fresh badge to distance it from the base, 2.7 in a big truck meme. Started talking more openly about its towing and work credentials, not just, hey, it's fine if you never tow. You don't dump money into a perfectly fine engine like that. That's the quiet admission. The first version wasn't enough. We had to upgrade it to make it what it should have been. For you as an owner, it doesn't actually matter what marketing calls it. What matters is understanding what the engine architecture wants from you. Because this is the core truth nobody at the dealership is going to say. A boosted 2.7 and a half ton is not a casual engine. It's a small displacement working extremely hard. And the difference between great little workhorse and expensive experiment is how you treat it. That's where your upgrade comes in. The one upgrade every 2.7 owner actually needs. People hear upgrade and think cold air intake, tune, exhaust. I'm telling you right now, that stuff is bonus. Your must-have upgrade is way less sexy and way more important. You have to upgrade the way the engine is protected, oil, cooling, and calibration. That's it. That's the upgrade. Treat it like a boosted work engine, not a rental. Let's break that into concrete moves you can actually do. 1. Upgrade your oil game. You're not in a Camry. Chevy's maintenance schedule is written to look good in the brochure, not for heavy towing, hot climates, long idling, constant on-off boost. If you're doing any of that, you need severe duty behavior, whether the manual calls it that or not. Here's the bare minimum. Use the correct full synthetic oil that meets the Dexos spec. No downgrades, no bargain stuff. Shorten your oil interval if you tow, idle, or drive it hard. If the truck is telling you 7,500 to 10,000 miles, you should be thinking 5,000 to 6,000 in real life. Make sure your shop is actually putting the right oil in and not just some 5W30 we had in the tank. Because on a boosted four-cylinder, oil isn't just lubrication, it's turbo life support, timing chain health. The difference between a quiet cold start and a clattery one. Skimp here, and you are literally donating life expectancy to save like 30 bucks. 2. Upgrade your cooling awareness. The 2.7 lives hot compared to an old lazy V8 doing the same work. It's making big torque out of small displacement with boost. That means hotter combustion chamber temperatures, more load on the coolant and intercooler, more potential for heat soak if you tow, especially in hills or heat. You don't have to be a race engineer. You just have to stop pretending nothing's happening under the hood. That means keep the cooling stack clean. The radiator, intercooler, and AC condenser get clogged with bugs and dirt. Hit them from the backside with a hose a couple of times a year. Don't sit idling forever in high heat after a hard pull, and then key it off. Let the truck idle a bit to stabilize temps, then shut down. Watch your temp gauge when you're towing or loaded. If it ever starts creeping up in ways it didn't before, that's your early warning. Ignore it, and you find out what limp mode feels like. 3. Upgrade to the latest calibration. This is the free horsepower/health. Chevy doesn't come out and say, "We messed up the tune." But they absolutely ship updated engine and transmission calibrations over the life of an engine to smooth out weird shift behavior, to handle knock control better, to protect parts they've seen fail in the field. If your truck has never had its software updated since it left the factory, it's basically running version 1.0 of Chevy's guess at how you'd use it. You want the latest map. At your next service, literally say, "I've got the 2.7 turbo. Check for and apply any ECM/TCM updates available for drivability and protection." It's boring, it's invisible, and it's absolutely part of the upgrade you need. The goal is a calibration that doesn't keep the engine lugging stupidly low for fake MPG, doesn't slam boost on in ways that cause unnecessary knock and heat, plays nicer with the transmission so the whole drivetrain isn't fighting itself. You don't need a wild tune that voids warranties. You just need the best version of Chevy's own brain for this engine. Quick pause. If you appreciate breakdowns like this, where we talk about how to actually keep the thing alive, not just how cool the badge looks, hit subscribe. It's free, and it means the next time Chevy fixes something quietly, you'll hear about it here before you hear about it from a $3,000 invoice. All right, back to your 2.7. 4. Optional. Upgrade your blow-by management if you want to go further. This part depends on how far into the enthusiast rabbit hole you want to go. Turbo direct-injected engines like the 2.7 tend to build carbon on intake valves over time, push more oily vapor back through the intake tract, benefit from better PCV/blow-by management. Some owners go with catch cans or upgraded PCV setups to keep as much oily mist out of the intake side as possible. That's a legit upgrade if you understand warranty implications. You have it installed cleanly by someone who knows what they're doing. You actually maintain it, emptying the can, checking lines, etc. I'm not saying everyone needs this on day one. I am saying that if you're planning to keep the truck 10+ years and rack up big miles, it's worth having a real conversation with a trusted shop about what can we do on this 2.7 to keep the intake side clean and blow-by under control without tripping issues. Because long-term, a cleaner intake and properly managed crankcase pressure are exactly the kinds of quiet upgrades that separate "these engines are fine" from "these engines are junk." What this all adds up to in money. Let's talk dollars, not just theory. Over 5 years at 15,000 miles a year, you've got two paths. Path A, it's just a base engine, whatever. Oil changes done at long intervals, whoever, whatever. Never asks for software updates. Only thinks about cooling when something overheats. Tows and idles like it's a 5.3 from 2008. You might save a couple $100 in maintenance up front. But your risk of early turbo issues, carbon-related performance problems, weird drivability that never gets addressed, goes way up. If anything major fails out of warranty, you're staring at a 4-figure bill. One turbo or serious internal issue blows all that saved money out of the water. Path B, boosted work motor mindset. You spend maybe an extra $100 to $200 a year on shorter oil intervals, occasional dealer reflashes, keeping the cooling stack clean, maybe a mild PCV/blow-by solution if you're in it for the long haul. Over 5 years, call it $500 to $1,000 extra if you really go hard. In exchange, you drastically lower the odds of a major out-of-warranty bill. The engine feels better and more consistent. You have a much better story when you go to sell it. Maintained like a boosted engine, not a fleet truck. That's the real upgrade. Not a part you bolt on, but a system for how you treat the engine. How to put this into a simple checklist. Here's your 2.7 Turbo Owner Upgrade Checklist you can literally screenshot. Run the correct Dexos full synthetic, no cheap substitutes. Use shorter oil intervals, 5 to 6,000 if you tow, idle, or drive it hard. Ask the dealer for latest ECM/TCM updates at each service. Keep the radiator/intercooler/AC stack clean from the backside. Let it cool down sensibly after hard pulls in heat before key off. If you're a long-term owner, talk to a reputable shop about blowby/catch can options and how they affect warranty. Do those, and your 2.7 isn't the problem engine. It's a modern, efficient work motor that finally has the protection it should have had from day one. Ignore all of that, and you're basically running version 1.0 of Chevy's experiment with a boosted base engine in a world that's only getting harder on trucks. Chevy admitted there was a problem the moment they upgraded the 2.7. Your move now is to upgrade how you own it, so you're not the one paying for that first chapter the hard way.